So I'm in my room right now. I'm testing a interview setup just to see how quickly I can do it. I've been doing that for the last like week. I've been just like picking different places around my house and trying to throw up key light, some diffusion, some practicals, and just really trying to focus on shooting to the dark side and having the key light be upstage to try and get, as nice an interview setup as possible and just as quickly and efficiently as possible. I was on a shoot at the end of last month, and it was a one-man band, but it was with a client that I really wanted to make a good impression on. And there were a bunch of different, I think, issues that happened at the shoot. Some of which were definitely on me, some of which I think were on the client, and some pre-production stuff that we needed to talk out more. But again, I think that comes back to me at the end of the day, like me asking the questions that I need to know to be comfortable setting up in whatever environment I'm in as the DP. But I realized on that shoot that I just really needed to get better and get more efficient, especially if I'm going to be the one person on set who's in charge of lighting and camera and audio. I need to be able to both interact with the client, answer some questions that they have, talk through the day, and just be genuinely like a good person to work with, and not be stressing out about some of the more technical aspects that, the client really doesn't care or doesn't need to know about. And so I decided that I was going to practice my tech skill. So another thing that I really am interested in testing for this is I've been shooting a lot on one lens, which is my DZO Vespid Prime. I'm super stoked that I got this one. It's my first cinema lens, and I've been shooting basically exclusively on that. And I just realized that it had been a little bit since I pulled out some of my Sony glass, and my like G Master stuff. And I have a few projects coming up in the next month that I think are going to be slightly less artistic and a little bit more corporate style. And again, those are going to be more one-man band type stuff. And I really just want to be, my biggest goal right now as a freelancer is to be able to dial my systems in as quickly and efficiently as possible. Because I've realized in the last couple of shoots that I've been doing is that there's so much to keep track of, and there's so much to be doing on any given set, that I really don't want to have to think about a lot of things, I've also been watching, a bunch of YouTubers, so The Wandering DP, Mark Bone, a bunch of just content for how to get quicker and more efficient with your interview lighting and setup. And one of the things that Mark Bone said in a recent video is he likes to shoot on the 35 to begin with, because that's generally the widest focal length he'll go on an interview like this. And that actually benefits me because 35 is one of the primes that I have in my kit. But part of the reason I wanted to test this is so that I could see what all of those different focal lengths look like, see what kind of image I'm getting with all of those. And a great way to do that is to set up an interview setup like this with lighting that I do like right now and go from there.
Okay, top 10 red flags. Top 10 red flags in a guy. Go.
They don't open the door for you.
We got to be doing man on the street interviews, but with this whole setup, like you carry all the lights with you.
A lot of the times you'll have like just a reflector that someone's carrying. They call it Hollywooding. Okay. This is me testing out the interview setup with a 50mm. The advantage of this one, the reason why I wanted to do the 50mm after the 35 directly was because they're both G Master primes. And a hot take, I think I've actually been trying to stray away from the G Masters more than I really should have. I do just like the clean look that they provide, and the autofocus is awesome. I think I really should be trying to use them a tiny bit more, maybe, than I have been. But anyways, we're going to get to see what the 35 looks like versus the 50. I think I'm going to stop recording, and then the next up is going to be the 40, which I'm really interested to like compare the lenses and see what that looks like. Okay, So this is the DZO Vespid 40mm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the difference to see if I see anything. It's going to be really nice to compare it. So after I'm done doing all this recording, I'm going to pull it into DaVinci Resolve and just see what that looks like. I don't know, man. It doesn't look that different. I got to be honest with you. It's still a clean look. It kind of just looks like a 40, you know? Like yeah, there's not a ton of distinction on it, which is not a bad thing. It's definitely not like anything crazy. I think if I put the two together, which this actually might be a super big benefit if it matches up well with the G Master primes that I have in my kit and I'm able to like color grade the same, like I could definitely see throwing this on the camera when I'm trying to get like B-roll and stuff, like texture shots. But that's really cool. Maybe there'll be something different with like the background or the bokeh or something. But yeah, this is the 40. Okay, so here we go. This is basically the final shot. We're back on the 50mm because I think of all of the ones that I tested, the 50mm was the most pleasing to me. Maybe the 40mm was nice. Hey, so editor Solomon here. After rewatching all of the footage in DaVinci and going through this edit, I do actually think that the 40mm was my favorite. I think that 50mm was a little bit too close to my face. And obviously that can be changed, but I was in like a super tight space in my room. And so yeah, looking back on it, I think now that if I had to pick my favorite one, it would be the 40mm. So yeah, I just wanted to jump forward in time and say that for the video. But I think the 50mm was right about where I wanted to be at. I think I liked being able to be at T 1.4, or f-stop 1.4. And yeah, I wanted to come back to the finalized interview lighting setup, basically, that I was going to be doing. Obviously, if it was an actual interview, I wouldn't be using this Rode mic, but I wanted to test that out too. And I've actually really liked this, like just having something in my hand that I can like talk to feels right for some reason. Don't ask me why. Maybe like theater kid shit. And this has been a really good way of me to just like go out, stay in, I guess, and shoot something and practice my techniques and try and get better and learn. And it's even been a little bit cathartic. So yeah, all in all, I think that even in this last week of setting up interviews and trying to get better and learn more, I have realized that I have grown a ton. I think from seeing these frames now to where I started out with at the beginning of like 2 weeks ago, I feel so much more comfortable now setting up a shot that I like that is using some of the techniques that I've learned. And that's really all that I was trying to do out of this process, is just get more comfortable creating with the kit that I have, because it's good enough. It's good enough for me to go out and get more gigs, more paying clients, create better work, and for that work to be recognized. And I am still trying to level myself up. I'm still trying to get to the next point and become better as a person, as a DP, as a freelancer, as a business owner. I'm just trying to work on all of that. But that's really all I had. I don't have much else for this video if it turns into a video. But yeah, I guess if I do want to turn it into a video, I should have the like YouTube sign off, which is like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys are experiencing right now in the world of freelance, in the world of working in the film industry, whatever work you're doing that involves a camera and lighting and all of that stuff. Yeah, tell me your thoughts. I think that's going to be it for me. All right, cool. Bye.